Alright, here we go.
Enemy is
So, this seems like kind of a small thing, but you don't have to walk forward when you do this. Unless you think your Ryan is going to like mess you up by like walking in front of you. But like generally speaking, Ryans won't try to like shield you when you're bubbling, and you should just like rely on them not to do that. So like you don't have to walk in front of the choke to get your energy. Like you can get the same energy just by standing at the choke. Realistically, like walking forward 2 steps isn't going to make a big difference here. Shoot, there we go. Okay, let's go back real quick. Pretty much everything I guess I'm going to be talking about is probably positioning and bubble management. So after you get your energy, you don't have to like back out all the way, right? You can just keep like peeking this corner and throwing right clicks, and this will like actually like massively increase like your ult gain because like you're shooting versus not shooting, right? But yeah, so like don't like stand so far out that your Ryan's going to shield you, but you can like play like behind this Ryan and just like poke your nose out and throw right clicks, and it's virtually unpunishable unless they have like a Widow up there, and like you should know they don't have a Widow because you've seen both their DPS already. So after that, so this is what I mean by like swinging it too far. Now your Ryan has to help you, has to shield you, because like this McCree can shoot you, right? So like you just poke your nose out as far as you need to see somebody. Like if there's somebody peeking around this side, then instead of like swinging all the way out, you would just spam the right side and just stay relatively safe behind the cover, right? So you just throw like right clicks here, and then you just chill like and be covered from the other side. But there's no one there, then you can swing out a little bit further and throw right clicks, and you just keep playing like this corner. That's how you play the corner. Like you keep trying to like walk forward, and this Ryan keeps wanting to back up. So as a result, he has to like walk forward to get to you, and then shield you. And this is why your Ryan shield is cracking, and their Ryan shield is, I believe, full health. Never mind, his shield management isn't very good. But in theory, at this point, they should have a full shield, and you should have nothing. Which is like a quick way to lose a fight on this point. If you want to like get bubble energy, you don't actually need to walk forward. You just need to be in front of your Reinhardt, right? So like there's a big difference between like being here versus just stacking your Rein. And when your Rein's backing up, you just like stand there and don't move and just shield for a second. It leads to less situations where you just kind of get blown up before you get a chance to actually bubble. Which I'm sure like you've felt that happen where you just kind of like, I just want to forget farm, and then suddenly you just explode, right? So now your Rein has to jump forward to help you. Shield here. That bubble's not very great because you saw him already backing up. So if he's backing up, then don't bubble him, right? In the sense that like you want to save, like now that you have energy, and the fight looks like it's about to start, you want to bubble him when he's going in, or to save him if he's being like CC'd or something, right? So outside those two situations, you should basically never bubble your Rhine, unless like you know that like he's about to fight, right? So for example, if he was walking forward and the enemy Rhine was also walking forward, they're about to swing at each other. That's a great time to bubble, right? You get a lot of value. But if their Rhine is like, if your Rhine's backing up and the Rhine's walking in, you want to bubble. You want to save your bubble for when your Rhine actually tries to swing back at him, right? Since this Rhine pinned and missed, like there's no point in bubbling this, right? So now you can, but like your Rhine now wants to like pin into him, and that's a reasonably good time to bubble because he's about to like be committed, right? I do like how you're mixing right clicks in between left clicks. A lot of people actually don't do that. Yeah, so if you want to spam this side, you don't need to walk all the way out, and you can do it from further away from behind the choke. You don't need to be at the choke itself to like shoot this spot. You have range, right? So you need to play. You need to use your range to maximum capability. Like right clicks from longer range, left click. When you're left clicking, you want to be at close to max left click range, unless you're getting really aggressive. Yeah. You can do everything you can from like this part of the choke, as opposed to standing inside the choke and eating any damage that like falls into the choke.
Get in there.
Yeah. Again, be really careful like standing past the choke. This is a really easy way to get punished. You can just stand here, take the spam, shoot, and you'll get your energy. You'll be fine. You're also high energy already, so you don't need to play very aggressively for energy anymore. Because one bubble will push you to full energy, right? So you don't need to like go crazy. But yeah, you're missing a lot of chances for free damage. Like I said, like just you can spam. Just make sure you do it safely. Because like if you look at your team, like your Ryan and Hanzo both have all already, and you're only at 40%, right? Great. Be really careful about standing right here, right? So like for example, your Ryan's playing here, so you want to play a little bit behind him, so you can always rely on a shield at any given time, right? So you either want off angle, where you play the extreme off angle, right? So you play over here, in this general area, and you throw right clicks from behind the statue, so that way when they push through the choke, to clarify, if you're playing the extreme off angle, that means you want to hold this choke, right? So that means you're relying on either them pushing you and you just back up and your team hits them from the right, from the side, or they push your team, right, your Ryan, and you shoot them from the back, right, and you're ready to back up anytime and regroup, right? Because all it takes is like 2 seconds to get here, and your Ryan's backing up, and now you can reconnect and bubble him as needed, right? Or you can bubble him like as you start pushing around this corner. But that's like an aggressive off angle, which I promise you will work a lot in ranked. People just don't know how to handle off angles. Alternatively, you play a more defensive angle with your team, and you just kind of chill and throw right clicks from safety, right? So just wherever you need to be able to throw right clicks without like taking damage, that's great. So like right here is decent because you can chuck right clicks at this Reinhardt, and you're relatively safe, right? There's not much that's going to shoot you from here. But here, you can get shot from like a lot more other things, right? You're also in range if somebody like shows up from around a corner, they can get you. With vertical like heroes, like Hanzo can like come over here and tag you. It just like there's a lot of ways to hit you from here, and just be really mindful of that. That you're extending into the choke without bubble. If you get like I know you know where the McCree is, but like if they had like another form of CC or like they had a Brig, and then they had a hero that could like do a lot of burst headshot as well, like you could just straight up die. So careful those bubbles, because there's just not really a need to do that unless your team wants to go in. So if you're communicating with your team and you want to push this, you can, right? You just save both your bubbles, and your team walks in, you just bubble and then bubble yourself, etc. But be careful like extending this far, just to like pressure the Rhine shield essentially. Like you can do almost everything you're doing from further back, right? For example, you can shoot this Rhine. Like, do you see how long this beam is? You're going from here all the way to here, right? So, I mean, if you wanted to shoot this Rhine, you could literally shoot the Rhine from like probably right here. You don't even have to like walk in, right? You can play really defensively, throw right clicks if you like they're out of range. If they're walk into vaguely like close to the choke, you can just beam them from like relative safety. Like just abuse your range. You gotta be really cautious. Like you don't have to play aggressively for energy. You're already at max energy. These bubbles don't need to get maximum value. You need to save the bubbles for when they matter, right? So if you want to farm, you can farm, right? But just make sure you do it from somewhere where you're 100% not going to die for using your bubble. Yeah, so now this is really bad because like this constant like aggression when you don't really have to. You can get aggressive, but just like do it more like be really critical about like the moments when like you are going in, because like there's a lot of times when you're just kind of like walking in without bubble, without like without the intent to really just go and kill someone, right? So like if you want to kill this McCree, you can, but make sure you have bubble and you're prepared for the flashbang, right? And like in situations where they're all coming back from a spawn like this, right? But because of like this constant like aggression, walking back and forth without really like committing to anything, your Ryan just like kept wasting his shield. This is partly his fault, but you're kind of also baiting him into this. So yes, this guy is like not very good, but you're sort of like compounding on the problem, right? Yeah, now they have a full shield. You guys have no shield. We'll see how decisive the enemy team is, but. If a Moira grabs early, or sorry, not grabs. If she culls early, and she like is playing really aggressive with it, that's a pretty good grab because she can't escape from it, right? So if you expect the Moira to not be able to get help right here, it's not very good because like the Rhine shield is full health and she's nearby. He's nearby, but like in situations where the Moira like is relatively on her own, or like is like, for example, if the Rhine was here and you were like playing more of the statue area and the Moira was trying to get past you with the Cole, you could just like grab her and kill her by yourself, because she just can't escape, right? So anytime people are locked into a grab, it's always good. dragons, great combo.
Barriers on you. Damage increase. Heldenstern. Enemy turret getting there.
Yeah, and you're not playing your range, right? Like, you can shoot him from way further away than this. You could be easily behind your Rhine, like at the statue, ready to use any of these corners for cover. Or like rotate around even, you can go for the off angle, protect your Hanzo, go for aggressive like right clicks and beam. But like you're just kind of not playing your range. You're like so determined to like get in this Rhine's face that you're constantly forcing your Rhine to walk forward. You guys get ulted, bad spot. Yeah, you guys don't really counter ults. Whatever.
This fight is not over.
Yeah, I'll watch like 1 or 2 more fights. I expect like the entirety of this to just be about like doubles. Your Rhine really shouldn't be holding here. You should be holding on this corner, and then you can swing out wider, and then you can shoot. And then if you get in trouble, your Rhine can shield you. But what range this Rhine is, but it's not very good. Alright, so be really careful with this bubble, because you should expect, if you see the Rhine like doing this, he 100% has Shatter. I know I have the benefit of like the replay here to show me that he has Shatter, but like I saw that like his movement, and I just immediately thought he has Shatter. Like this guy's telegraphing super hard. You just look at him. So here your Rhine has no shield, right? And their guy, instead of trying to make any play like walk forward or do anything, is just holding his shield and trying to walk like to your side. He's trying to get an angle. just look at him. If that doesn't scream Shatter, I don't know what does. So if that's the case, be really, really conservative with your bubble in these moments, because if all else fails and your Rhine can't block the Shatter, it's on you to block the Shatter, right? Because you're the only one who can, right? So right here, by bubbling this early for charge, you completely like put your blocking the Shatter entirely in your Rhine's hands, right? And like it doesn't matter how good your Rhine is, like it just always helps for the Rhine to have more help, right? Although their guy doesn't know how to mana shield, so I presume this is a free Shatter for your own. I know you want to bubble people shattered, but like, just wait for the follow-up. Like you'll be able, like Overwatch is a fast game, but not so fast that you can't react, right? So here you're looking at them on the ground. I know you want to like. So you're looking at them on the ground, and like you have a second to like look to see what the follow-up. So if you look at the follow-up, they have this guy shooting, and this guy charging, right? So this guy setting up a turret, like you can kind of tell that they're like not like you can actually see them through the walls, like not like through the walls, but like through the glass. So you know neither these guys, neither DPS can shoot. So it's really just the tanks, right? So there's 2 ways you can protect against this. You can body block and you can bubble, right? So you don't have your personal bubble, so you don't want to take the charge, but you can stand in front and try to like block some of the right clicks and just get out of the way of the Rhine, and make sure you bubble like the charge, because the charge is actually what's 100% going to kill someone, right? Because like the Zarya right clicks, maybe not, maybe not, but like the charge will 100% kill someone. Make sure you bubble that first, bubble like that primarily. So make sure like you just wait, see who's about to connect on, and then bubble that guy. You should right click more in these situations. It's just more damage overall, more bursty, and especially against Rhines, you can bounce them around a bit, and it can mess up their swings. Yeah, if you just right click at their feet, it's hard to miss. You'll get a lot of damage. So actually, if you wanted to commit to living here, you probably could. You were full charge. You had grav. You had both. You had your bubble coming up. You just need to commit to like actually living, right? So that means like being a rat and just like coming out the door, jumping down the high ground, hiding underneath them, just running in circles essentially, and then if you run into anybody of your own, you just kill them because you have bubble and your high energy Zarya, right? If it's more than one, you can bubble as long as like in the case where they came at you with the McCree, right? As long as you bubble his flashbang, right? So as long as you're ready for it, you can actually just grab both the Lucio and the McCree and just kill them. And there's actually not much they can do about it. So high energy Zarya is super dangerous, and if you're going to commit to living, make sure like you commit to living, right? So try to like force situations where like you don't fight more than 2 people at a time, and make sure like not make sure, but just like commit to killing them, right? So like right here, like you like try to come down these stairs, like because you're trying to come back to the cart, but that's not what's important. Living is what's important because like if they can commit multiple heroes to you, like your team isn't ready to fight, so they can commit more than all their heroes to you, you're just going to die and not do anything, right? But like yeah, don't like try to walk back to the cart. Be ready, live first, and then come back later, right? And if you get booped, don't walk backwards into them. Like try to get back around the corner because that's how you stay alive.
Enemy turret neutralized.
Really early beat.
Best shot.
Okay, you're playing too far back. Your team beat it, and they're committing to the fight, right? So your team is beat. So what you want to do is you want to swing out wide, to help like create pressure for your Rhine. Because if everybody stacks behind Rhine is just going to die, right? Like he's just going to eat all the crap in the world and explode, right? So the way you create pressure for your Rhine, as both an off tank or DPS, is to play wide on it. So that way you can like shoot and create multiple angles, to, like create concaves, right? Create multiple angles you can shoot at them from, and create multiple angles for them to shoot at. So even if they miss, it's not going on your Rhine, right? If everybody just has to shoot at this corner on the enemy team, your Rhine is just going to die. Doesn't matter how much damage you have, or how much like healing and health you have, right? So as Zarya, you want to swing out wide, especially when you have beat and you're invincible. And it's a little hard to get there right now. Like you run directly at the corner, and then you bubble really early when you're like for charge. But like you have health, right? You're not going to die. Just like having low energy but living a long time is better than like having high energy and dying really fast, right? So that's what you emphasize. It's like, do you see how you bubbled and you backed all the way out even though you're full health and even still have some beat on you, right? So like, don't be afraid to like save your bubble when you have beat, and just commit to the corner, right? Commit to going wide because your team is ulting here and like is really wants to win this fight, right? Yeah. So if you're gonna run away, okay. So first thing, you probably shouldn't have tried to live here in the first place. You should have committed harder, because you have no energy. So a low energy Zarya is like not very valuable, right? High energy Zarya, like you really want to prioritize your life. You want to be the last one to die pretty much always, right? But in this case, you had no energy, so it's okay to die. It's not a big deal. That said, if you're going to commit to living, which you were because you were running away, so you're like preemptively backing, right? So you're already back here, right? So you've decided at this point that you're going to live. So if you're going to live, that means that you just need to run away, right? Any bubbles you get, you give to your team, but you don't you don't like put your life on the line for them. You're committed to running. So you say you come back, you try to get value off yourself bubble, help your team out, and now you all die together, right? If you're going to commit to live, right? Don't do it halfway.
How many is that again? I'm losing count.
Alright, I said last fight, but you have to use that. One more.
After service. Огонь по готовности.
It's really simple on this Graph Dragon. Interesting mouse waves.
Огонь по готовности.
Yeah, you probably needed a better grab than this. And you also needed
Just
to...
like at your service.
So again, you have time right now, as long as your Hanzo doesn't die, right? So there's two things you need to emphasize. So one, do they beat? The answer is no. Two, like, who can you kill with this Grab Dragon, right? Who's the most important person to kill, right? So normally, a lot of times people just go for like the biggest pack of people, but like it's important who you actually get in the Grab Dragon, because getting the Rhine, and only the Rhine is like a pretty bad Grab Dragon, because and with the 2 ult combo that can guarantee you kill whoever you want, you need to kill the most important people first. Ryan is relatively important, but he's not that important, right? Plus, he takes a long time to die dragon, and depending on the heals he has, like if he has like an Ana, who has nade up and maybe nano, like he's straight up not going to die, right? So there are a couple people you can kill, right? You can kill this Zarya, right? This Zarya will just 100% die to the grab dragon, or you can kill supports. Supports are another really high priority target that will die to the grab dragon. So those are the people you want to go for. Right here, you just kind of like panic. I guess a little bit. You just you have grab. You know you have grab dragon. You really want to get this combo off. So you just grab dragon the first person. Like really like the first big clump looking of people. The first big clump of people you see, right? And this isn't really like a great clump. Like you get the Lucio and you get the Ryan, but like the Lucio. When I said grab support, so Lucio is like the least important in the support. You'd much rather have the Mercy, right? So if you grabbed over here and you caught the Mercy, like that grab is already better than like this grab, even though there's two people in it, right? Because Mercy is the majority of their heal output. It's also the only person who has ult besides the Zarya if you're tracking it. If you want to like also like if you get a single like kill off this grab dragon, the Mercy can res it, right? So yeah, that's why this Zarya is comparatively much better to solo grab, because than like anyone else besides the Mercy. Because if you solo grab her, if she dies, she's in your spawn, which is much easier to contest a res from than like back here, right? Yeah, so like, look, the Rhine doesn't even die to the grab dragon because it's not like perfectly perfectly timed, and you only get the Lucio kill. And meanwhile, like the rest of the team's dying. Both the heroes have ults or get to use them. Just kind of grab. Their grab's better because they're like it's later in the fight and your team clumped up more and had less healing, right? Because more people were dead already, already expended cooldowns, etc. All right, that's that. So again, with grab, to wrap up, with grab you want to make sure like you grab the right people more than like a lot of people. With grab dragon, if you get everybody with grab dragon, it's a different story, right? But generally speaking, you want to grab the right people more rather than like the front people. Be really careful about like grabbing tanks. They're usually a big bait, especially if the enemy team has like the healing resources to keep them alive, right? Like a trans, like an Onanade with a lot of follow-up healing. If it's like a Roadhog and like something else that's resilient, right? Like these are not the heroes to grab. You want to grab people who will actually die. Yeah, and then for spacing wise, play your beam range. Your beam range is a lot longer than you probably think it is. It's also a little bit easier to aim if they're a bit further away, as opposed to like right in your face. And if you ever get caught in like a close range fight, just like juggle them with right click melees. It's a lot of burst damage, especially against squishies. You don't need to right click melee as much against like tanks. But it knocks people around. It makes them harder for them to stick on you. Their aim requirement is much tighter than yours if you're right clicking, generally, and it's just really good to do. And then for bubbles, like once you're high energy, especially, be really conservative with your self bubble. Your self bubble becomes super important. And when you decide to use it, like defines a lot about how when you decide to use it defines a lot about how you can play any particular fight. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, that's all.